My name is Qunio and I work in the arts here in Madrid. We are in Retiro Park, one of the main garden parks in Madrid, very close to El Barrio de las Letras, which used to be the neighborhood where writers, theater players used to live and work. And I would like to share a little bit of what this theater scene looks like in Madrid. But before that, I'm going to tell you a little story about two main characters of the golden age of Spanish literature. This is centuries ago, where in this neighborhood, these writers, theater writers, poets used to live and work. So there were these two characters, one called Francisco de Quevedo and the other one called Luis de Góngora, and they were fierce rivals. They were main figures in the Spanish literature and theater literary scene in Madrid, but they were fierce rivals. So all these writers used to live very close to each other in this same neighborhood, El Barrio de las Letras, as I said. And this Góngora and Quevedo, they hated each other to a degree in which, for example, Francisco de Quevedo wrote a poem about Luis de Góngora, who was this man with a big nose. And this poem started with a line that goes, translated something like, "Once there was a man attached to a nose," as saying that the nose was even bigger than the man. So it's just a little anecdote to share with you, to tell you how lively and how lively was this literary scene. In terms of the theater scene in Madrid, so in Madrid, like in the rest of Spain, there are different types of theater companies that work in slightly different ways. So we've got the publicly funded institutions that run theaters in cities. So for example, in Madrid, we've got these theaters run by the state, other theaters run by the region of Madrid, and other theaters run by the municipality of Madrid. Also, we have many privately run theaters. So in Madrid there are around 100 theaters. There's an independent theater scene, a more, let's say, mainstream theater scene that might be more or less commercial. And all these theaters are spread out in the city and in the metropolitan area. Theaters which are run by publicly funded bodies, they've got funding from the government, which might be the government of Spain or the government of the region of Madrid, of the municipality, and they have a program that is typically a very broad program as to share those funds among different production companies that may have the opportunity to show the work in these theaters. So it's not so dependent on the commercial success of the place, which is always, I guess, it's something that might happen, but it's not necessarily the case. So it's about supporting not only commercial theater, but also theater that is looking around or investigating or researching on aspects of theater that are not so commercial. And they need the support of the state in whatever instance we're talking about to find the possibility to exist. On the other hand, publicly run theaters, they need to sell tickets, they need perhaps a sponsor to be able to perform their work. Actors and actresses in Spain, they typically work for production companies. They're not employed by the theaters. Theaters normally employ or commission work, or they buy work to production companies, who are the ones who then employ actors and actresses. So depending on the type of play in which they work, you might have an actor or an actress, performing for 3 years, typically in a commercial theater, or perhaps working for a production company whose rights for the play have been either commissioned or bought by a publicly funded institution. So that's more or less how it works in Madrid. To the degree I know, I work in the arts. I'm a theater lover, but I do not work in the theater itself, but that's what I know about it. And I hope you find it interesting. Madrid is a city in which theater plays an important role since the Golden Age. There are many theaters, different opportunities to enjoy, different types of theater, and we invite you to come around and enjoy it for yourselves.
It's so amazing. Thank you.